I'm Tracy Baxter with today's Record News Watch. State education officials had been sounding a warning. They said not to expect great results on the first math and English tests given statewide to students in grades 3 through 8 under the tough new learning standards. Well, it turns out they were right. Just 31% of students statewide passed the math and English test this past spring, meaning nearly 70% of the students flunked. That compares to last year's results of 55% passage in English and about 2 out of every 3 students meeting or exceeding the math standard. Student scores were expected to drop under the new National Common Core standards. Following a release of the numbers, State Education Commissioner John King said the changes in scores don't reflect that students are taught less or learned less. Look for reaction to the test score results here at Record Online and in tomorrow's Times-Herald Record. Dozens of protesters lined Sullivan Avenue outside the CDI building in Ferndale last evening, where a fundraiser for Republican Congressman Chris Gibson was being held that included an appearance by House Speaker John Boehner. The protesters, representing groups including the Citizen Action of New York, the Hudson Valley Area Labor Federation, and the NAACP, were there to criticize the policies of congressional Republicans and to voice support for immigration reform. The Senate passed an immigration reform bill in June, but the House is yet to bring a bill up for a vote. Reporters and photographers were not allowed at the event, which reportedly raised more than $100,000 for Gibson's re-election campaign. In other news, a Goshen man now faces felony charges following a 3-vehicle crash in Dutchess County that took place back on Saturday that seriously injured another person. 20-year-old Dylan Jackson of Goshen has since been charged with vehicular assault and driving while ability impaired by drugs. State police investigators say Jackson's actions behind the wheel caused the accident on Knoxon Road in the town of LaGrange. Following his arraignment, Jackson was sent to Dutchess County Jail on $20,000 bail. Senator Charles Schumer was at Winding Hills Park in Montgomery earlier today to sound a warning about a new tick-borne illness that has turned up in the Hudson Valley. Schumer says the Centers for Disease Control need to take action against a potentially fatal disease spread by ticks called powassan.
In a study of 13,500 ticks, researchers found about 6% had the virus, depending upon the county. And just a few months ago in May, the first case of the virus was found in a human in Saratoga County. He's on his way to recovery, but unfortunately it's a very serious illness. It can have up to a 30% fatality rate, powassan. And it's also more dangerous because it doesn't leave the telltale bullseye, so it's much, much harder to detect.
Joining Schumer at the news conference, Jill Auerbach of the Hudson Valley Lyme Disease Association, who says not enough has been done to educate and contain the spread of all of the preventable tick-borne diseases.
A pittance is spent on tick research to protect us. Ticks, these cesspools of infection, are not even needed in the food chain. So I ask, why has nothing effective been done to stop ticks? Governmental funding for tick-borne disease has been cut. This is clearly penny wise but pound foolish. Research is needed in this long ignored field of science.
The first local case of powassan was found in Saratoga County, and researchers have recently found the virus in a significant number of ticks in the Hudson Valley. And Schumer says he's supporting federal legislation that would help combat the new and growing epidemic of tick-borne illnesses. A parade that ended in Riverside Park kicked off the 7th annual National Night Out Against Crime celebration last evening in Port Jervis, one of a number of night out events that brought out thousands of people to various locales throughout the Hudson Valley. Organizers of the Port Jervis celebration were expecting a turnout of about 4,000 city residents to their community celebration that featured free food, games, raffles, and positive interaction with local police officers. And officials with Port Jervis's citywide Neighborhood Watch program were hoping the sense of community pride and spirit on display last night carries over.
I hope that they get a sense of community spirit, realizing that with Neighborhood Watch we're trying to actively engage with them to have them have a safer community to live in, a safer place for them to raise their children, and to take some of the drugs off the street. We are the eyes and ears of the police department. We work with them hand on hand.
You feel you've made a difference?
Yeah, I think we have. We've been reporting a lot of crime and drugs. It's been taking down a lot of it.
Last night's night out in Port Jervis also gave local organizations a chance to connect with city residents and promote the positive work they're doing in the community. And some call it an unwanted hazard for children. Others say it's a true village landmark. It's the Korean War fighter plane that has been sitting in Fort Daly Park in Monroe for more than 50 years. The plane, an F-86 Sabre, was moved to a corner of the park 8 years ago, but its fate is now up in the air after the village board decided to ask the Air Force to remove it. A large group of Monroe residents and military buffs have made it known they want the board to reconsider its decision, and the backlash has prompted village officials to look at ways to raise money to keep the plane while reducing the safety hazard. Reporter Chris McKenna will have more on the Monroe plane debate here at Record Online and in an upcoming edition of the Times-Herald Record. Clouds and showers will hang with us for the rest of the week. Thursday will be cloudy with periods of rain likely and temperatures topping out around 80 degrees. More clouds, humidity, and showers in the forecast for Friday as well, with the highs in the low 80s. Keep clicking back here at Record Online to stay on top of breaking news and stay connected to what's happening by starting your day with the Times-Herald Record. For Record News Watch, I'm Tracy Baxter.